My name is Milton Anderson. I've went by Bo and Michael my whole life. I came out with a product in 2014 that I called My Toy. It was in backyards across America. It was like a big blow-up jungle gym type deal, like the ones you rent out to parties. I was charged a lot of money to make it. I was way overcharged. I had water cannons put on it. I had to buy a water compression technology to put it on. I paid double for it. Turned out to be useless to me because the velocity was way too high and the technology wasn't figured out. Several people had the technology before me, but they couldn't figure it out either. 5-6 months went by. After making a series of suggestions, one finally worked, and I figured out the technology. Mr. Obama then made me pay a huge amount more to keep the technology. I also got to name it. I named it water softener. I also had to buy out the material that I made my toy with. It was very expensive material. The only reason I was able to put it on and charge for less was because I bought it out. I was made to buy it out. And the only problem with the material is it was very, very heavy. It made my product very, very heavy. My product sold at Academy Sports. And this is my fact list. And there was some question. Oh, every investor got paid. Everybody's been paid except me. I alone paid for the product. I didn't get any of my investment money. Okay, now everybody's been paid. And the returns were so high. They were huge. Everybody's life's been changed. Okay? I haven't been paid my money. I feel my money's been being passed out. Okay? And people are being paid off not to help me. Okay? Any lawyer will be paid off. Every person that's tried to help me, to help be a witness from them, they're paid off. They're paid off and made to sign something. And it gives me no chance. I need my money. Things are being done to me. This is my fact list. I had my toy made in 2014. I alone paid for my toy. I was forced to use all of the money that I made on my previous product to pay for my toy. And then when all of that money was gone, I had to finish paying for my toy with one of my patents. Mr. Obama put all of the money I made on my previous product that I did right before my toy into a bank account and wouldn't let me access it because he said that I needed it to pay for my next product, which was my toy. Then, sometime into the manufacturing of my toy, Mr. Obama said that all of my money in the bank account was gone and that if I wanted to get it back, I would have to use one of my patents to finish paying for my toy. Then I signed something to allow them to use one of my patents to finish paying for my toy. A similar competitor product was made by the same manufacturer that made my toy at the same time and place my toy was being made. I kept a folder on my toy where I wrote down all facts. I had to go through several prototypes during the manufacturing of my toy. Some of the additions and changes made were the grip, a water slide, these things that shot out water that we call water cannons, and a plug used to unplug and let the air out better, more quickly, and more efficiently. The plug was similar to the one used on my previous product. Some of the water features were later taken off. After changes, each new prototype was tested, and I wrote down the results after talking with the manufacturer. I wrote all of this in the folder that I kept on my toy. Mr. Obama said that if I went down where my toy was being manufactured, that I wouldn't get paid. So I wasn't allowed down where my toy was being made. I had to get separate phones and keep one with me, and I gave one to the manufacturer. And every day that I called her, I wrote it down in the folder that I kept on my toy. I called every work day. The work week was 5 days. I called every day until they started using my blood to make me forget. Then everybody started to invest in my toy, but I didn't get any of the investment money. I even had something set up with a notary for people to invest, but still didn't get any of the investment money. I kept asking for some of the investment money so that I could get a lawyer, but still didn't get any. People also started investing in a similar competitor product that was made by the same manufacturer at the same time and place as my toy. Then they started putting some of the investment money for my toy in the back of my attic. Police officers and several other people started stealing large amounts of the money from my attic. They put motion sensor cameras in my attic where the money was. I was told several times by the police and Mr. Obama that I wasn't allowed in my attic, and that if there was even one picture of me, that I would be arrested on serious charges that carried long sentences and I would not get paid. They said there was an investigation going on, but wouldn't say what for. Then they sent someone to check the cameras on a regular basis. Then they kept using my blood to make me forget about my toy and the investment money in the attic. People just kept coming and stealing money from my attic without me knowing or finding out till a later date. Some of the people who stole money out of my attic were the bald guy James, he used to stay with my Aunt Mary, several police officers, 2 brothers, my second cousin Kelsey, my neighbors, Mark Jr., Mark Sr., Barbara, and her sister Marge. A younger girl named Rain, this guy Chuck, several of the people who tortured me, the dentist at the end of Argyle, the woman who manufactured my toy, this Indian woman who later got with my cousin, this guy Blaine I know, a manager named Chris, and several other employees from the McDonald's by my house. Calvin, Drake, this older guy Henry, a younger guy named Brian, a blonde girl from the clinic on Emerson, and several other people. I kept calling the police about the stolen money and about the things they were doing to me. But they came and said, "What do you want us to do about it?" And that they had other things to do. In the middle of the manufacturing of my toy, a large group of people wearing doctor masks forced their way into my house when my family was all out of town, and they all brandished knives. They repeatedly hooked me up to a blood machine and completely drained my body of all of its blood and tortured me, while they continuously kept asking me things about my toy. They, the intruders, came back several times, and some of the later times they started shooting me and my dog with darts from a dart gun. Several darts were found in my dog, and even in me a few of the times after the intruders were gone. After they forced their way into my house the first time and brandished knives, they overpowered me and shot something into me while 6 to 10 intruders held me down. They said it was heroin and immediately started preparing another shot. While still holding me down, one of the intruders, a woman that called herself Bertha, started talking to me and said that if I kept resisting, that it was going to be very painful. She said that they were about to put 3 IVs in my back and then show me the needles that she was about to use that were about 12 inches long. She stuck one in through my back and all the way through my internal organs while telling me to hold still, don't move. The needle came out through my stomach and hit me in the hand. She said that they missed my vein and that she wanted me to know that she was about to keep doing this to me until she found 3 veins in my stomach so that all 3 IVs would be on my back where I couldn't reach them, so I couldn't take them out. Before I lost consciousness, they kept asking me where the folders and phones were for my toy, as well as where anything else related to my toy was in the house. After I wouldn't tell them, they started going through everything from room to room right before I lost consciousness. There were people on the phone with the intruders that were asking them questions to ask me about my toy and also telling them things to do to me. One person on the phone with them told them that they wanted them to put something on the end of the needles to make the holes in my internal organs bigger. The person on the other end kept saying something about Swiss cheese. I later found out that the person on the other end was the manufacturer of my toy. She, the manufacturer, also kept asking one of the intruders on the phone about a blood machine that she ordered off the internet to take my blood. The intruder she was talking to was this older woman from the clinic on Emerson that called herself Drake's grandmother. The intruder sedated me and put 3 IVs in my back and then hooked me up to a blood machine when I was unconscious and drained my body of all of its blood and tortured me. They removed my eyeballs, stripped me down, and repeatedly tried to snip my testicle cord so that I couldn't have any more kids. They burned me, lit firecrackers in my eye sockets, and filled them up with semen. When I became conscious several times, I was hooked up to a blood machine, and the lady that called herself Bertha was in there with me, and she said that I kept swallowing my tongue and that she kept having to stick her hand down my throat and pull out my tongue because they were raping me in my mouth right before they ejaculated in my eye sockets. They used my blood to make me forget several things, mainly my toy. I had to go to the hospital to get blood pumped back into me several times after mine was all taken from me by the intruders. One of the times I was there, the Queen showed up at the hospital and went into the room I was in. I was in pain and I asked her if she could take the IV out of my back because they left an IV in. She pulled it out and commented on how long the needle was, as well as how big the thing they added on the end of it to make the holes bigger in my internal organs was. Somewhere around this time, I made the Queen my only partner. She was supposed to provide me legal counsel, but didn't. She was also supposed to help me remember when they made me forget my toy with my blood, but she later said she was sorry she didn't, but that she forgot too. On the way to the hospital, several times I took ambulance rides, and the times that I remembered, I told the ambulance people everything that was happening to me. I was very scared, and I remember telling them, please don't leave me, please stay with me. Then my toy went to market and made a lot of money. One of the first places it sold was Academy Sports. There was also an issue with the boxes my toy came in. They tried to say that my toy was the competitor product, and they tried to swap products, so I had to prove which one was mine by choosing the right box or boxes. I picked the right ones every time, which were the heavy ones. My toy was made with a heavy-duty material, which made it very heavy, and it took 3 boxes to fit my toy, and they later squeezed my toy into 2 boxes. I also had to buy out the heavy-duty material as well. The first sold boxes of my toy had the name My Toy on them, so it was important that I got them to prove I was the one on the phone with the manufacturer and to prove I was the one who paid for my toy, and that's what I did. I got the first sold box of my toy from Academy Sports, which was actually 3 boxes that they squeezed into 2. There was a large crowd up at Academy Sports that waited for me and my stepdad to get there, go in and get the first sold box of my toy. We kept the boxes at my house because we were told we would need them to help prove which was mine. We took pictures. My second cousin Kelsey later stole the boxes and swapped them out with the other boxes that didn't say My Toy, that had the new name. My toy went to market and made a lot of money. Everybody got paid huge returns. Everybody got paid except me. I want to say we also took pictures of the boxes. We also took pictures of ourselves opening up my toy for the first time. I believe we took them on 2 cameras, and one of the cameras got stolen. My toy went to market and made a lot of money. Every investor got paid huge returns. Everybody got paid except me. This is updated fact list. My toy updated fact list with all the boxes. There was an issue with the boxes that my toy came in, and this is what happened. They kept trying to get me to pick the wrong boxes. One time they even put weights in the boxes. When me and my stepdad went to Academy Sports the first time to get my toy because someone called and said it was ready to be picked up, a tall young man gave us the wrong boxes. We told them that they were not big enough. We still took them to show everyone how they kept giving us the wrong boxes. A few days later, we got a call from Academy Sports saying that we could come and get my toy